Hi guys, I'm back again and I have for you today a review of Giovanni's Room. Now I'm going to read you the back so that you can see what it's about. David, a young American in 1950s Paris, is waiting for his fiancée to return from vacation in Spain. But when he meets Giovanni, a handsome Italian barman, the two men are drawn into an intense affair. After 3 months, David's fiancée returns, and denying his true nature, David rejects Giovanni for a safe future as a married man. His decision eventually brings tragedy. Full of passion, regret, and longing, this story of a fated love triangle has become a landmark in gay writing, but its appeal is broader. James Baldwin caused outrage as a black author writing about white homosexuals, yet for him the issues of race, sexuality, and personal freedom were eternally intertwined. Okay, I finished reading this book last month. This is the second James Baldwin novel I've read. The first one I read last year, which was If Beale Street Could Talk, and I thoroughly enjoyed that one. For a lot of the same reasons I enjoyed this one. The passages, usually in first person, are passages that are extremely intense, meaningful, and you can very much relate to those parts of the story. Giovanni's Room is a very short novel. It's only 159 pages. This is a Penguin Modern edition, Penguin Modern Classics edition. And the thing about it is, in such a short few pages, James Baldwin explained exactly what it's like to be struggling with your sexuality. Now, the story is called Giovanni's Room, and in the beginning, I've always been very curious about the title of this book before having read it. And I came to the conclusion that this is really a metaphor for coming out of the closet. And you see the struggles and the difficulty of doing that, and how everyday expectations surpass greatly one's deep desire. And James Baldwin did a great job with this book in the sense that he really did mix up the sexuality and the race part. Now, the race part is because in this book there are no black characters at all. Everybody in the book is white. And I think in 1956, when he first wrote this, people were outraged already about the fact that it was about homosexuality and struggling with it. And secondly, because there were no black characters in the book. Because in that time period, 1950s and 40s and 30s, black writers were considered to be Negro writers, in which case that meant they wrote about Negroes. They did not write about white people. And this was written as a sort of continuation out of what he was writing when he wrote Go Tell It on the Mountain, which was more or less around a race kind of issue. And being that these two things go together, because he really believed that you couldn't write about one without writing about the other. So Giovanni's Room came to light, although it almost didn't get published because his first publisher refused to publish it unless he changed the main character to a woman, which he refused to do, obviously, because that just would be ringing false. And then he changed publishers, and the book was published that way. Now, it was received differently from, there were some people who agreed that this was a brilliant work, but not that many. So most people would have thought that he was risking his entire writing career by writing this, having this novel published. But it was a brilliant move because it was something I think that was needed and that was well vehicled. The writing of the novel is spectacular. You get these lovely passages, very meaningful, very descriptive, and I'm going to read one for you right now. To begin with, the room was not large enough for two. It looked out on a small courtyard. Looked out means only that the room had two windows, against which the courtyard malevolently pressed, encroaching day by day, as though it had confused itself with a jungle. We, or rather Giovanni, kept the windows closed most of the time. He had never bought any curtains, neither did we buy any while I was in the room, to ensure privacy. Giovanni had obscured the window panes with a heavy white cleaning polish. We sometimes heard children playing outside our window. Sometimes strange shapes loomed against it. At such moments, Giovanni, working in the room or lying in the bed, would stiffen like a hunting dog and remain perfectly silent until whatever seemed to threaten our safety had moved away. Okay, so you get these really lovely descriptions, like that, of some very passionate and private moments, and it really makes you understand a lot better, what he's trying to convey in the novel. So I gave this novel 4.5 stars. Of course, on Goodreads I can't do that, but that's what I would have given it, is 4.5 stars. It is really brilliantly written. Now, another good thing about this are the passages where he describes 1950s Paris. Spectacular. I mean, it's just amazing the way that it's described. And there's another thing that some people may not like. That's the only thing that I can say that people may not like about this book, that there are lots of little phrases and words and expressions in French. I like that, but I speak French. You may not like that if you don't speak French. I say that it doesn't really disrupt the story itself. It just adds a little bit more to it. But some people may find it off-putting because they can't understand every little, French phrase. But other than that, it has nothing else that I could see that was really bad with it other than that. Now, what I wanted to do, another thing is, if you really want another really, really good review of Giovanni's Room, you need to go over to Ellie, the bibliophile, and check hers out. I will link it below, because her review was excellent and spot on. Now, what I'm going to do for you guys is I'm going to do a giveaway, because as you know, I got this one because of the lovely font size and all of that. But I will be giving away the first edition that I bought, which is the Great Loves edition. Okay, font size is, a little smaller, but that's okay. It's a cute edition. You can see it's much smaller than the other one, but all the same, it's a cute edition. So if you would like to win this book, what you have to do is be a subscriber, write below "I want to win it," and do all of this before the 1st of May. That's all you have to do. It would be preferable that you were 18 and above. If you are not, I need your parents' permission to be able to get your address to send you this book. That's all you have to do. Now, there is one thing I wanted to point out with the book, is in this Penguin Classic, Modern Classics edition, what is really good about this book is you have a foreword, or should I say a introduction by Carol Phillips, okay? Now, if you don't know anything and haven't read this book, you should not read this introduction first. You should read it after you finished, because there's some giveaways to the plot inside of the introduction. But the introduction is excellent. It's just like 3 pages, and what it does is it describes everything that Baldwin went through to have this book published, what his agenda was, where he was as a young man, how he was perceived by a few different writers, because basically, it says in there at one point that Richard Wright was helping him. And then at one point, Baldwin did an essay on Richard Wright's native son. It's called Everybody's Protest Novel. And he was basically criticizing it. And from that point on, it was not good. It was like betrayal. The introduction in this particular edition is excellent to understand better, this period and what was going on with James Baldwin and how he got this book published. So I would say really go for this edition. Great Loves edition. It doesn't have anything in it. It's just a novel, So, but it's a nice edition. It's sweet. It's cute, but it's just too small for my eyes. I can't do it. So that's all I have for you today. I hope you guys are having a great day, and I will be back as soon as I can.